you're going to hear a theme tonight, I think, because mine's somewhat similar to Michael. And Michael, I was raised in rural Ontario on a farm, so I'm sort of one position removed from being a newfie. Right? Yeah, we say weird things like "you guys just come over" and go stand up against the wall, that kind of thing. So, but really enjoy Michael. Michael already gives me clarity, and every time I hear him, he gives me clarity. Little background about me: I was in business for many years. Long story, we won't take all night for that. Then had some clarity. Some forced clarity, had 6 years off to have the privilege of being home with our kids when they were younger. Had a complete shift in my life into the nonprofit sector. Then during that assimilated some entrepreneurial experiences back into that. Still work in the nonprofit sector with people with disabilities in their journey to employment, which I love. And then and I get a little emotional, I'm not going to get emotional tonight. My father was a great connector. My late father. I just didn't realize it fully until he passed away almost 4 years ago. He taught me how to be a great connector and how to live my life in service to others. And it was through that I made a promise to him that I would create something where I could help people connect, really connect with people, because I believe life is all about making connections, so that I can give back in his name and in his honor. So that's when I started Connect One. You can find me at gordfansher.com. So I want to tell you a little journey that I've been on. It's been about 10 years that I started to do some self-development. And really in the last 5 years, really doiled it in. A little plug for you. I love that, because I can't Fansher it in. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound the same. But I really started to doil that in. And here's the thing about life. Personal life, business life, and we've heard it tonight. All of a sudden we start getting these things that are bombarding us. And that's what happened to me about 2 years ago. I was doing things and nobody knew around me. I don't think Kyle knew. Steve might have known because he's like a brother from a different mother over there. There's a few people close to me that knew what was going on, but even my own wife didn't know really what I was going through. There was some losses, there was some past traumas. I have a label that I'm not even going to say because I don't like it, but that rears its ugly head sometimes. And what I didn't realize is that it was really affecting my clarity, affecting my connections, and it all started to pile up. And I was looking so forward to Christmas and having 2 weeks off with my family. We got to Christmas, had a wonderful 2 weeks, and my son is a commercial pilot. And for years, about a decade now, we've been going and doing pictures and videography of commercial aircraft in Toronto. We have special privileges at Pearson Airport to be in the infield. So he said to me about January 5th, let's go do what we used to do. I said, yeah. Selfishly, I thought, that's what I need. We went and we had a wonderful day, an awesome day, taking pictures and video of commercial aircraft. We were in the infield. I don't know if any of you remember when Air France went off the end of the runway near the 401. We were at the end of runway 6. Beautiful sunset, gorgeous sunset off to the west. I'm a farmer, I should know north, south, east, west. Off to the west. Beautiful sunset. And there was a special livery, and a livery means the paint scheme on an aircraft, a very rare one coming in. And my son's over here videotaping, and I got the idea that I would get up on the guardrail and take a picture, started power shooting pictures of this aircraft coming in. I got most of them off, turned to get off the guardrail, lost my balance. So I've never turned to alcohol, I've never turned to drugs. My comfort is food. And what I had not realized is that I'd gained a lot of weight. So the north half of me was bigger than the bottom, south half. And when I went off the guardrail, my top half, my north half, was getting ahead of the bottom. And I was picking up speed. And I knew I was going down. I think I heard Matthew say drop and roll. I don't remember. All I could think about was save the moneymaker, right? Save the face. Save the face. I went down flat out in the middle of this infield road and hit hard. And then the first thought was, I'm on the infield road where all the service trucks are. I'm on a blind curve. There's going to be a truck coming around there any minute. I'm going to get run over. So thank goodness we got off the road. My son wanted to take me to the hospital right away. I said, no, let's get in the car and head home. There's hospitals along the way. I know if we get to Woodstock even, hospitals right off the highway if we need it. But we got home. I got bandaged up, tore my arm up, tore my knees up. What I didn't realize till the next day is that I went through, if I may say, hell in the fall with a root canal and an abscessed tooth. But when I fell, I hadn't got a crown on it yet, and I broke the tooth. So I went to my dentist, who I've known for years, a long time, 25 years. And Brock said to me, Gord, that tooth's got to come out. I got to surgically remove it. I said, okay, let's get her done. Let's get her done, right? And he said, the problem is I've done your vitals and your blood pressure is really high. And I can't do it. Your blood pressure needs to come down. I'll give you some time. So we tried over a couple hours even. He put me in a quiet room. He put some music on and all that. It didn't work. And I said, you know what, Brock? Give me a waiver. I'll sign it. Just do it. And he said, I can't do that. You need to go to your own doctor. So through that process, long story short, I realized everything was out of whack. When they did the blood work, my cholesterol was high, my blood pressure was high. Everything was out of whack because of all of the crap that I was dealing with and all the crap that I was eating. And so I remember thinking, this is really serious. I said to the doctor, what am I facing here? And she was very blunt. She's been very blunt with me. She goes, you know, you very likely could have had a massive heart attack or a stroke, or you're heading in that way. You're heading in that direction. So I had a choice to make. I had a big choice to make. So I decided I've got to change. So I started on a different diet. I took refined sugar out of my diet. I lowered the intake of wheat products and carbs in my diet. And I started to walk. And I would walk and walk and walk, and I walked every day. And my wife said I said to my wife, let's go to British Columbia in July. And she says, I remember saying, okay, if we go, I'm going to hike and I'm going to leave you behind if you can't catch up and keep up. Something like that. And I thought, okay, I'm determined that I'm going to make it. So I started on this regimen of walking and exercise and sticking to the diet. And it was amazing when I got refined sugar out of my diet. Within about 3 weeks, I dropped 2 inches in my waist. That alone provided clarity of mind. Truly clarity of mind. I have rheumatoid arthritis from a number of injuries in the past and chronic pain. I was averaging 2 to 3 debilitating migraines a month. My feet were throbbing so bad that when I got up in the morning, I could hardly put weight on my feet. The pain in my shoulder was excruciating at times. I was medicating, trying to keep up with that. And my clarity was not there. That was starting to change. So I kept walking. This is still a bit emotional for me, I'll get through it. Kept walking every day, every day. So in July, we went to British Columbia. The first thing we did, we connected with my mother there and her husband, and we stayed with them, but we wanted to go and see some things because my wife had never been there. So we started to do a bit of walking tours, and one walking tour we did was quite difficult through the forest, and apparently at the end of this path of hell, there was this rock that had a beautiful scenery. And my wife would go ahead and I would keep up, and there was like over roots and over rocks and over stairs, and it's really hard to describe. I was going to bring pictures, but you can just picture it. It's BC, it's British Columbia, it's mountainous. And I remember getting to this last platform, there were stairs that went down and disappeared over there. And I said to my wife, I'm done. You go ahead. I hope it's worth it. Take some pictures. And I'm standing there as she disappeared, trying to get my breath. And this woman come up the path and stopped. And she said, how are you doing? And I said, oh, I've had it, you know. And she said, well, you don't have too far to go. Granted, that part's the worst part, but once you get there, it's worth it. And I said, do you walk this path? Are you local? And she goes, I walk it every day. I'm 72 years old, I'm retired, and I walk it every day. I said, wow. She goes, I'm a retired teacher. I retired here, and this is how I stay in shape. And off she went, and I thought, okay, there's a message. There's a connection, right? And I thought, so I texted my wife and I said, damn it all, I'm coming. If you're on the way back, pick me up if I fall, whatever. Anyway, I got to this rock and it was the most beautiful scene I've ever seen. It was so worth it. So then we decided to go to, well, we went to Gross Mountain, we did all that stuff. We went to Whistler, Blackcomb. Has anybody been to Whistler, Blackcomb in British Columbia? So you know there's the gondolas that you can take up. And this is in the summer, so there's mountain biking going on. So a lot of people on mountain bikes, but we took a couple of gondolas up to the peak, they call it, gondola. They now have, at the peak of Whistler, a new bridge, suspension bridge, between 2 points. And I said to my wife, let's go for a walk around the corner of the mountain here. So we went around the corner, and it was so beautiful, and I said, let's just hike up there. Let's just hike up there, yeah. And she goes, are you up to it? And I said, I think, yeah, I'm up to it. So we started this hike, and literally, it was the hardest thing I've done in years. But my wife would go on, she would wait for me, I'd catch up, she'd go on, she'd wait for me. And I literally was like this. You know, like that. At times it's like I couldn't breathe and get my breath. And I remember getting quite a ways up. And at that point, the snow on either side of the path was about 14 feet high. And she said to me, can you make it? And I said, I think so. I don't know how far we have to go. And the lady heard me and she said, you're almost there. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll be there. I said, okay, all right. But it was literally 1 foot in front of the other. One step at a time. And I kept thinking, successful people do what others are not willing to do. I could do this. And I got to the top of the mountain, and there's a picture of me, I didn't bring it, but I'm standing at the top like this. Because it was emotional, what I'd been through. And what I learned is, people say to me now, Gord, how did you do it? How did you change your diet, lose the weight, and climb a mountain? It took 3 hours, by the way, to get up there to 7,200 feet. And I said, one day at a time, 1 foot in front of the other. I had a lot of fear of failing and falling. Fear, fail, fall. And I remember a story that I heard one time about trapeze artists and what they go through before they learn to be a really good trapeze artist. And the trainer says to them, what's your biggest fear? And a lot of them say, failing. A lot of them say, falling. A lot of them say, judgment, if I fall and fail. But they say, you know what, if you want this bad enough, just do it. So they put their foot on that first rung of the ladder to climb that 25 feet in the air. They put the faith in the person that put that apparatus together, that they put all the screws in the right way, and they climb up. And then when they get up there, they stand out on that little platform, and what do first? They look down. And they become terrified of falling. Fear, fail, fall. And the trainer says, come back down here. And he tells them to do it, or she tells them to do it over and over again until they get so comfortable that they just scamper up that. If you ever watched a trapeze artist, they go to that ladder and they're up the ladder so fast and on that platform because they've done it over and over and over again. And once they get comfortable on that platform, Then the trainer says, this is awesome. Now I'm going to throw a little piece of wood to you with 2 strings on it called a swing, and I want you to catch that. And they go, what? You want me to do what? And they miss it over and over again. And he says, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, until they grab that swing. And he goes, that's awesome. Do you feel good? Yeah. Now, when you grab it, I want you to swing out. And they're like, what? You want me to do what? I want you to swing out. I'm going to fall. Fear, fail, fall, right? That fear, fail, fall comes back. But they do it, and they fall in the net, and they do it over and over and over again until they get it right. And just when they feel comfortable with that, he says, okay, this time, when you swing out, there's going to be someone coming at you. I want you to let go and grab their hands. And they're like, what? And they go through the process again, over and over and over again, until they perfect that. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time. It's that slight edge philosophy. It can be negative or positive. I used to think, oh, if I eat this bag of Doritos tonight, that's okay. And the next night I'd go, you know what, some Lay's would be nice tonight, so I'll eat that whole bag, that won't hurt me. The next night it'd be, oh, I could eat a chocolate bar and a Big Mac at 9 o'clock at night, that's not going to hurt me. But over time, that builds to something that's not positive, right? So you can switch that and walk 3 kilometers a day and build it into 5 kilometers a day. And I got up to around 100 kilometers a week. Now, I haven't been doing that because the weather sucks. But I do go to the Y and walk the track over and over again. The byproduct of that was my mind changed and my body changed. I lost 50 pounds since a year and a half ago. 50 pounds, which is huge. People say, oh, that's wonderful, you lost the weight. I said, that wasn't the intention. The intention was to live a better life connected to myself. So my company is called Connect One Consulting. I believe life is all about connection to yourself first. Then you can build relationships and connect with others and build a massive network. And my target market really is those, not so much those people that are struggling, but those people that have been displaced from a business or a type of work that they were doing before, now find themselves in a business where they need to connect with others and have never had to connect with themselves. That's really the target audience. However, if you know anybody that's in business and is struggling to find connection and build relationships with your customers, I'd love to have an opportunity to talk to them as well.